Hey, subby friends, Pink Girly here. As you may have seen on my channel, I have a video uploaded, and it's an unboxing of supplies that I received from a company called bbcraft.com. And they have a YouTube program whereby if you contact them, all you need is 100 subs, or I should say subscribers. You can get together with them and they will send you some goodies from their long list of items, crafting supplies that they have. And then they ask you to just do 3 videos for them. So I did my unboxing, and this is my second video where I'm going to actually use some of the things they sent me. So today I'm going to use my stencils. In this package of stencils, if you've seen my unboxing, I got 16 beautiful stencils. Now I have them over here to the side. I'm not going to show them to you right now because they're a little grimy because I've been using them. And so I wanted to show you what I did with them already. And then I'm going to show you how I did that. And then I'm going to do some additional things before the video ends. So we're probably talking maybe about 45 minutes to an hour by the time I get done playing and doing everything that I plan to do. But they're really, really nice stencils and they're beautiful. And I'm having so much fun and I can't wait to what I'm going to do later in the video. Anyway, I was at the dollar store and I purchased a pack of index cards. They're the bigger ones. They're the 4x6s. Like this. Okay. And then I whipped up a batch of coffee. Now, I haven't had too much success with tea bags or brewed coffee, but this is instant coffee. I just take I take quite a bit of it, maybe a quarter of a cup, and dump it in some hot boiling water, stir it, let those crystals dissolve. And I like the color that I get from that. I like my coffee dyed papers to be a little darker. When I do the tea and the brewed coffee, they look okay, but they're just too light for me. And through YouTube, I've met a lot of folks, and one gal, her name is Fran, and I believe her channel is Fran on the Edge, but I'll check that. I'll put that in my little description box. And she made some beautiful coffee dyed papers. And I'd asked her how she did it, and she said she layered her stencils in between her pages. So when I started to work with my index cards the other day, I thought that's what I'm going to do. So first I'm going to go in reverse. I'm going to show you my end product. I'm going to show you how it looks once I finished doing it, and then I'm going to show you how I started to do it. So these are my index cards, and these are my results. I love them. Now, some of you may say, what in the world are you going to do with those? Well, you can use them as journaling cards. You can fold them in half, use them as covers for a little journaling book. You can put them in your journals. You could write recipes on them. You could write a little note on them. I mean, the ideas are endless. Come on. Okay? So these are all the stencils that I used that I got from BB. Now, look at this. What I did to get that darker edge, no clue. Okay, but look how cool that is. That's like this one here. Look how deep that color is. I mean, to me, that's beautiful. Okay. Some of them are a little better than others, as you can see, and some of them really almost look like I traced the stencil, but I didn't. That's all just from the coffee dye. Well, from the coffee. It's not coffee dye. It's just coffee. Coffee and water. Instant coffee and water. And you can get instant coffee at the dollar store. It doesn't have to be from the grocery store where it costs a lot of money. That can be from the dollar. Look how pretty that one is. So I started to offset them, put them on the side. Some of them are in the middle, just to give myself a little, see, that one I shouldn't have pulled up yet. So that's what I did yesterday. And of course, I was too anxious. I pulled them off, used my heat gun to get those to dry up because I'm always anxious to see my results. So this is what it looked like when I was pulling my index cards apart. Now, some of these are probably still on the wet to damp side. And so I layered. So there's one. Now this one was on top. It's still, well, it's got a little bit, I see the coffee kind of makes a little bit of a sheen, but that's fairly dry. And these are one of my bbcraft.com stencils. And another piece of index card. Look how cool that is. Now I got a little crooked there. But I mean, no worries, right? And look, all I did was just layer. So I thought it would be a good idea to show you how this looks, and then I'm going to show you how I got to this stage. Now, of course, you can use your stencils regularly. Just take your paint, you scrub it on top, or a dabber. You can trace them. But I thought Fran's idea was pretty clever. And so I tried this on my index cards. Now, of course, these need to dry some more. You could wait till they dry naturally. But I really sopped. I think I probably sopped some of these with a little more coffee than I needed to. And actually, I think they probably turn out a little better if you don't saturate them. Cool, right? See, I really juiced this one up too. See, I have the extra juice, but I think where it's a little drier, I get a better impression. So I'm going to try to remember that going forward as I show you what I did. So all I did, I have my glass work surface, which you may not have that. So you might want to think about working inside of a tray, like a cookie tray or some kind of a pan, and line that with maybe some paper toweling. I just put the paper towels down on my glass surface. And started to layer my stencils with my index cards. Ooh, that one's cool. And you certainly could do this on paper, cardstock, right? And if you wanted to, you could really cut your pieces the size of the stencils. I measured these before, but now I don't remember what I measured. I think they're 6 by 6. Let's just check here. See if I have my ruler going the right way. Yeah, 6 by 6. Maybe just a skosh under. And of course, this last one, I had a different stencil underneath. This one I juiced up pretty well. So you can see I've got my coffee stained paper toweling here. I think I'm going to grab another paper towel or two. And like I said, I mixed up my coffee yesterday. And I like to put it on with a paintbrush. Certainly you could put it in a spray bottle, spray it on. You could just put it in a pan and dunk your paper. Whatever works for you. I like to brush it on. So I'm going to add this to my little work area here. And what I did is very simple. I just took an index card and took my elixir of coffee, and I just brush it on. Now, I could use a bigger brush too, but I like to use my brushes that are older and kind of ratty. And this is the biggest one I had that's kind of on its way out. So you usually, in most cases, want to use the brush that fits the size of your project and certainly the size that you're comfortable with. So what I did yesterday was brush it on like this, kind of brush out those bubbles. And then I just laid my stencil where I wanted it. And like I said, I did start to offset them a little bit. So I'm going to offset this one. And then I'm just going to press that down. Now, on some of them, I did add some extra coffee. And I think that's where I didn't get the best impression because I juiced it up so much. I put too much liquid. So now I'm just putting a light coat of that coffee on again. And I'm going to just stack it on top. And I wasn't real careful about or really thought about whether I wanted the line side down or the other side, because I would probably use both sides at some point, or I might use some of these in Happy Mail, or who knows, right? But you need to have some supplies sitting around when you're getting ready to put a book together. And it's nice to have some variety. Oh, this stencil is beautiful. So this is the one that really printed nicely for me. So I'm just going to kind of press that down. And this is all I did. I just kind of stacked and restacked. I did try dunking a couple pieces of my 3x5, I mean my, they're not 3x5s, my 4x6 cards down. And my container, my measure cup was a little fuller then, but then it only met halfway and I had a stripe down the center. So then I just started to use the paintbrush. But you could use a sponge. You could do anything. You could do anything really. If you don't want to, if you don't care about getting messy, you could dump it on with, just pour a little bit on and swish it around with your fingers. Although you may not want to get totally crazy. I guess I'll just go edge to edge on this one. Now I thought I might try something additional. So I pulled out some Reader's Digest pages that I have sitting in my stash of journal equipment, if you will. So I thought it might be nice to coffee dye some of those and put an imprint of some of the stencils. Now, unfortunately, we won't be able to really see how they turn out unless I pull them right off. I might get a little bit of an impression to pull it right off. So let's see. Let me grab, oh, I love this one. Isn't this one cool? So I'm going to put that on, and now I'm going to get a book page here. Just give that a smash, a little smash down. And then I'm going to add some coffee to this. Now, what I haven't done with the stencils, I haven't gone in with a pencil or a pen and traced, but I'm thinking that might be really cool to do that like around the background of a coloring book. How cool would that be, right? I want to press that down. And then I'm going to add just a little bit more to the top of this one here. Now, I wouldn't recommend using, now this book page paper is pretty sturdy. It's not super old, but you want to be careful because you are going to, you're wetting it quite a bit. So I'm going to press that down. Now, my thought is if I leave these sit, I've got a lamp sitting over here. It heats up pretty well. And I thought if I laid this on top, maybe, and of course I could use my heat gun. But you want to be careful with the heat gun because you don't want to melt your stencil. I'm going to try another one of these book pages. And then I'm going to clean this up and do the next thing I've been dying to do with these stencils. I have a jelly plate, and I hadn't used it a whole lot until recently, and started to do some printing with that, and I've just fallen in love with my jelly plate. Really and truly. So some of my prints don't turn out very well, and they're kind of on the plain side, so I've pulled some of those out. And I want to use my stencils, my new stencils from bbcraft.com. Oh, this one's pretty too. It's got like a filigree heart in the center. So I'm going to push that down, and then I'm going to top this off with an index card. And this may not work. I don't know. I haven't tried it before. We'll see. Really, how big can it look, right? Let me brush the rest of this on here. Look, I already got a little bit of an impression there. Let's brush that out. All right. Now I'm going to lift up my whole little package there and put it to the side. And we'll check that in a little bit. Now I'm just also going to put my coffee liquid over to the side. And I've got my index cards and my book pages. I think I'm going to use those book pages again. And I'll move my beautiful little printed indexes. And I have my jelly plate right here. Now my jelly plate, the jelly plate is made out of this material. It's just like, I kind of think it's like when my kids were younger and I made Jell-O squares that they could hold in their fingers. It kind of reminds me of that. It's wiggles, but it doesn't break. Forget that commercial for Jell-O. Something about it wiggling. So I'm going to take my plate out, put that on my work area. I'm going to use acrylic paint. And I have my brayer sitting back over there to the right. So I'm going to grab that. And I think I'm going to work, maybe I'll work portrait. Save me some room on my workspace. Now, another YouTube friend by the name of Kathy Berg, and that's the name of her channel, Berg like the iceberg, said that she sometimes, when she rolls off her brayer and her extra paint when she's printing onto a blank sketchbook or something like that. So I have these books that I made. It's just a magazine that you fold in half, and you can get them trimmed or cut it yourself. I just tore my pages off because I didn't really care about that. But what I do care about is that it's to collage on these. It's kind of difficult to cover the magazine pages. So I was thinking I would go through with gesso or white paint, and then Kathy suggested rolling off your brayer when you're jelly printing. Well, I thought I might as well try my little magazine books here. Now, see, some of these are probably stuck together, but I love the way it turned out. These are all my roll-offs from previous jelly printing. See, now I can come back in here and collage on these pages. Look how cool they look. Now, the one thing I didn't grab were some stamps, so I might have to grab some stamps. But I'm going to mostly for this video use... Look, isn't that sweet? So I'm going to have this other one here, so I'm going to use this one today. And hopefully decorate those pages. Now I have my paint right here. I have my paper. Now I did do some printing, as I said, and some of my prints I think were a bit of a fail. So like for instance, this one looks like Pepto-Bismol. And there's a little bit of scratching and stuff in there, but you know what? It needs help. So I'm going to put some paint on my jelly plate, and I'm going to use my BB Craft stencils and see if I can make some of these jelly print duds that I have into some masterpieces, if you know what I mean. I'm just scratching off some little bits of paint. So I have that pink to work with. I like pink and orange, actually. Now, of course, I've got all kinds of stuff sitting in front of my paint wheel, which wasn't the best idea I ever had. I have this cadmium red. I wonder how that would look. So I'm going to put on a thin coat, hopefully, on my jelly plate. And this is cadmium red, just Americana Deco Art paint. Well, no, it doesn't say Deco Art. This is just Americana. Getting my brands. They don't need much. You just want a little bit. I tend to be heavy-handed with my paint. And I'm just going to brayer that out. And then I'm going to put my stencils down and make an impression. And then I'm going to let that dry. At least that's the plan. And then see if I can pick up the print. And then I'm going to run off my extra paint off of my brayer onto my little magazine book. Now in this stencil kit from bbcraft.com, you get 16 stencils, 16 6x6. So I think I'm going to put this up in, let me move my paper there, the corner like that. And I think I'm going to choose a second one and put down here. And then I'm going to take a sheet of plain paper. Give that a rub. Now, of course, that looks cool, right? Now I'm going to pull up my stencil. Look how cool they look. I'm already loving it. And then I'm going to dry this. Now I think the color I want to put on top, I think I want to go, because that's pink. I'm going to use my already printed paper. I think I want to use something, maybe a little something on the neutral side. So let me pick out maybe a cream or a antique tapioca. Tapioca sounds good. It's kind of a, tapioca is kind of a grayish white. And this is a folk art brand. Now their paint's usually a little thicker, and some of my paints are older. I'm trying to use up some of my older colors. And this little guy is not cooperating. Let's see if I can, in that little blank spot, put some. I might need a little more, because you can always brayer it off, or so they say. This is really thick. Now I'm just learning. This, like I said, may not. Actually, I think I picked up most of it on my brayer. Maybe I didn't leave it dry long enough, but let's try it anyway. See if we get anything. Putting down my pink paper that I already printed on. and I didn't get anything because it either wasn't dry enough or I picked it all up on my roller. So let me try it again. We're going to figure this out, kids. Figure it out. All right, so I'm back with my Cad Red. And I'm rolling off that extra into my little magazine journal. And then I'm going to put my stencils back down. I mean, I did like the way I had them, so I'm going to put that here. This one's just beautiful. And I'm going to put this one here. And I'm just going to do a little press, mostly where the stencils are. That's cool. That's so cool. Maybe I'm not supposed to let it dry. Or maybe my lighter color was a little too thick. I'm going to try this natural buff. And let's put it on while this is still a little wet. See if that makes a difference. One thing about doing the jelly plating, you pretty much get out every color of paint you own. Just, you've been warned. All right, now I'm going to go back on with my Pepto Pink paper. Let's see if we can see if I can get those images to print up. Let me pull up. I don't feel like it's sticking. I think I must have had too much paint. Oh, a little bit, little bit. You can see a very faint design, but what I want to do is I want to get the rest of this off of this plate. So I'm going to take the back side of this and see what we get with the rest of this. You really kind of want some resist when you go to pull your page off, because that's pulling the paint or the design that you've put on your plate. And that's real faint too, but it looks cool. All right. Now, let me try this one here. I like this. But of course I left the rest of it blank. And I'm trying to see my screen. I'm fussing around with my paper here. So let me put down some purple. This is called Passion Purple. I guess it's in a couple different languages, but we spell it the same. This is called Passion. I do love my purple. And you want to make sure that your paint is mixed well, because a lot of your acrylic paint has that oily, well, it's probably not oil, but whatever it is, that liquid on the top of the jar when you at the bottom when you first open it up, and that really makes your plate kind of slippery. Now I'm wondering what will happen if I put down stencil. Let's see. Oh, let's try this one. I'm going to put this one right in the middle. And I'm going to brayer over it. And then I'm going to take the back side of this one. And I'm leaving the stencil on there. Let's see what happens when I do that. Ooh, ooh. That's cool. Look how pretty. Right? Now I have the stencil still on my plate, so I'm going to pull that off. And look at that. Let me find a paper to print that on. Here I've got some yellow and some red. Ooh. Beautiful, right? And then you can stamp around the edge. You could cut this out. You've got a lot of options there too. All right, so I'm going to put down some more paint. Let me put down a combo. Let me put down a little bit of this buff. Now remember, I'm going for a thinner coating. I'll take a little drip of the red. That's your red cad. And then this passion purple. I'm going to put that down. I really like that stencil. And we'll just make a, it looks like I have something on my plate here. I'm going to try to pick that up. Get that out of the way. A little bit of a fuzzy or something. Now the other thing that I forget to do is I forget to rub off, clean off my brayer. I think it's my hair. I think it's my hair that I think I just picked it up off the plate and then I picked it up with the brayer and put it back on. Too bad it wasn't a gray. This is a neat color. All right, so I'm going to run that this way. Now I'm going to put a couple of stencils. Let's see, let's match the corners. Ooh, look at that one. Okay. All right. And I'm going to take the back of one of my epic fails. On this side, I used a piece of lace. And I couldn't get a good impression from the lace. You can see it a little bit there, but not really. All right, so we got up picked up a little bit from those. I'm crafting in a very small space because I'm a mess and I like to get a lot of things out when I start creating different stuff. This is going to be super cool. Ooh, look, see, I kind of wiggled a little bit there. Now, I'm going to go back to this page that we had. Put that down. I hope to get a larger plate. I want to get a 12 by 12, I think it is. Oh, wow. It almost looks like a patchwork. That's cool. I still think I might be able to pick up a little bit of this. So let me grab. This color is a new color. It's called Light Periwinkle. A new color for me, I should say. It's not a new color. It's a full cart color. I'm sure it's been around a while. It's a new color to me. And I thought it looked really cool. And I'm not sure I'll be able to pick up anything because there's just a little bit of paint left. That's if I can ever get this open. I thought I had the figured out the trick to getting it open. Not so much. All right, so let's just put a little bit of this on. This is really thick too. Like I said, the full cart paint is really thick. So I'm going to quickly push around. Oh, that's a pretty color. And I hope I can pick up the little bits that are left from that stencil. All right, I'm going to flip my page here in my little magazine journal. Clean off my brayer. And I'm going to grab some plain white. Put that on my plate. It did it. It did it. It did it. Whoa. I hope you can see that. It's real faint, but it's very pretty. Sweet, right? Now I'm wondering how. Let's try an index card. So let me put down, I do like that purple and that periwinkle. Let me put down some more purple. And I'm just going to do a small area. That's much too much paint. And I love my neon colors. So I'm going to squirt on a little neon orange. And this is by Apple Barrel. I don't generally use Apple Barrel, but I am so attracted to these. That is way too much paint. I have some arthritis in my hands, and sometimes I can't really squeeze the bottle very well. And then when I finally get it going, I squeeze it too much, and I end up with a boop. So let me run this over the plate. I know I was only going to do a small area, but I had so much paint, so I'm going to put on a couple of cards. So this one's really pretty. So let me put this one down here. And I'm going to put my index card down there. I could have pressed it, I think, a little better. Let's try this one. Maybe what I'll do is put my index card down and then another sheet of paper. So I can rub it better, get a better imprint. This is so much fun to just sit down, start using it, and see what happens. Ooh, I love that stencil. Look how cool that is. That's the one, I think, one of the ones that got real dark with the coffee stains. Now I'm going to pull my stencils up. I've got a whole nother scenario waiting here for me. Right? See, now I'm not understanding how the girls, like when they let that dry and then put more color on top. I'll have to ask one of them. I'm going to use a book page. There. And here. And you can use all different kinds of pages. It doesn't have to be white, copier paper. Ooh. How cool is that? Oh, I'm liking that. If you have some book pages you're not going to use, don't throw all that stuff out. Use them on your jelly plate. I think they're cool. BB Craft, I am loving these stencils. I have to tell you, they are really cool. Let me see. Here's another color that I haven't had very long. This is called Royal Flush. Is it Royal? No, Royal Fuchsia Deco Art Americana. I think I want to dig out that other. Now, don't forget, we've got some of the other stencils I've got layered here with the coffee. Liquid sitting here, marinating. Now, under here, under my stack, I have all this. Don't judge me. I have all this thrown on my keyboard. And I'm looking for that. Oh, that one's pretty. I'm looking for that one that's, there it is. I got it. I wanted this one. I'm going to put that down there. Now, see this one here. I'm going to press that down. And then I'm going to press it down over here. I'm just trying to get the edge. Make a little bit of an imprint. I've kind of got myself boxed in here because I've got other stuff laying here. I kind of do some of this like by the seat of my pants. And then I'm going to sneak this under here and try to get a little print or an impression down on that edge. Now I'm going to grab another piece of plain paper. This would be pretty gnarly. Let's see what we have come up. So I've got my border. And then I took up the paint, I guess, from my border. So now I've got that still in the center. And I know this is not going to work. I'm not going to get it lined up. But let's just see. I got it crooked. Well, yeah. Let's see what happens. That's a beautiful stencil. I know, you've heard that before. Oh, look. Look, there's still more there. Let's do that buff. Where's my buff? Let's see if I can get the rest of this up. How coolio would that be? Now, on my runoff papers here, you have to watch because I stuck some together. So you want to make sure that if you're rolling your paper off, or your brayer off on paper that you care about, or a sketchbook or something that you care about, make sure that your page is dry before you go to the next page, or else you'll be disappointed. All right, I'm going to put this on the back side of this. I went to my dollar store too to see if I could find some different things to make some background impressions. I didn't have too much success there. Oh boy, this is pretty. Guys, this is so pretty. I'm getting better. I think I'm getting better. That's really pretty. All right, let me try again. I want to be mindful of my time because I know a lot of folks don't have a lot of time to sit and watch some crazy woman who doesn't really know what she's doing, playing with her jelly plate. But really, I would encourage you, if you are looking for stencils like I was looking for stencils, go to bbcraft.com and check out what they have. They have a lot of other products as well, but these stencils are really, really nice. I'm going to go with this one again. If I do this, I just want to get a good impression down in the plate. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. I'm going to take the end of a paintbrush. Just make some little swirls. Decorate this edge. In all likelihood, when I go to use this paper, I'm going to cut out the imprint. But see, now I have a design around it that I can also use that paper instead of just plain purple. friend Janet Nash in England says it's like Christmas because there's always a surprise. And it is. You pull that up, you just don't know what you're going to get. Look how cool that is. I just love it. All right, let me do one more because I want to do one more with that other stencil down under here. Oh, that one's so cute. Yeah, let me have this one. I want to do the periwinkle. Now, I'm not sure if I can get this to work the way I'm thinking. This might be a little crazy. So what I wasn't understanding initially when I first started jelly printing was that you want to take off the excess on your brayer and rub that off. See what you're doing when I'm rolling this, I'm picking up paint and making a thin layer there. Now let's see, I'm going to get messy. If I can push this down, pick it up, down, up, down, up. Might be a little kind of on the wild side. Now, after I'm finished this video, trust me, I'm going to sit here for hours and play with this. And make some really cool prints, I think. The longer you do it, the better you get. Practice, practice, practice. Cool. I like that. And it picked up the purple bits that we had underneath. All right, let's try this. See, this is what I do. It's like eating a potato chip. You just can't eat one. Let me put this bright orange, this neon orange down. And I didn't even do any of the metallics or my glitter, okay? Once you start with the glitter, it's like all bets are off. I mean, and the metallic, I'm telling you, oh, yeah, maybe I should throw a metallic on here. Let me see if I can spin my way around to a metallic. Have them all in one spot, and I think I moved them. Paper towels are headed down. Oh, why am I not seeing my metallics? Oh, look at this. This is called Extreme Glitter Paint. I think I have one that's open though. Let's put some of this on. I love sparkle. Ooh, yes. It smells a little funky. That paint smells a little funky. All right, let's grab the stencil. And let's grab this one. Now, some of the girls say be careful with the glitter on your jelly plate. And so far, I haven't had a problem, hopefully. Well, I think the neon was a little too thin because I didn't really get a print from down on this other stencil. And I don't know if you can see that glitter, but that's awesome. So let me pick, oh, brother, look at that. Oh, I wonder if I have a, I wonder how this would look. It's kind of the same color, it's the same family of colors. This is more of a salmon-y, light salmon. Let me see if I can pick this up. Hopefully it's not too thin and slippery. Like your neon colors are more translucent. There's not a lot of body to them, if you know what I mean. It's a thinner paint. And I didn't put any other acrylic. I just put that on, except for the glitter. That looks cool, guys. Look. That's cool. All right, so I'm almost at an hour. Let me show you real quickly. I'm going to put my jelly plate off to the side for just a moment. And I want to show you. Now, this is probably too soon as well. Let me pick up my other stuff here out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. So this is what we layered. Now, I don't know about the Reader's Digest pages, but you can start to see a little bit of the impression of the stencil coming through on my little, oh yeah, on my index card. How sweet is that? Okay. Oh, you can see it a little bit. Oh, you know what? I want to dry it. I think if I dry it, and this is thin paper, so hopefully we can dry it a little bit. I think it'll pop a little bit more. Once it starts to dry. Not sure about that one. So I'm drying off to the side here while I'm pulling up my other stencils. Ooh, that's cool. Right? Love it. So just let your imagination go, guys, okay? Get these stencils and just start messing around with them. Look how pretty it is. And you can do this on envelopes. All kinds of stuff, right? Love that one. Let's see, it's just showing a little bit. So you can see it a little bit. I think that's cool. This would look great in a journal. I'm going to have to do some more of these. And of course, you could make your coffee solution darker or maybe use some other kind of ink. Although it might be a little darker or different color. But I think that's cool. Now, I only did a couple. Yeah, this one's cool too. Oh, that one turned out good, right? Love it. right, guys, that's all for this video. Thanks for joining me, and thank you, bb.com, bbcraft.com. Don't forget, visit their website, check them out. And as always, don't forget to take time to be creative and enjoy the journey. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.